Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing this juicer of mine. I'm not sure how to pronounce this brand and I obviously don't want to even try. I've had it for 3 years. I bought it after I had another juicer that was, I was using it a lot, but it was really difficult to clean and the amount of time that I spent cleaning was just too much. So I wanted something that was simpler to use. I've used this, I use it maybe once or twice a week, so I don't use it like a ton, but over the course of 3 years that adds up to quite a bit. I'll go over the pros and cons as well as some of the secret tips that I've learned during this time. And so I'll just start off pointing this out. So there is some wear that comes with it, a little bit of staining that happens over time. That especially happens with carrots. The carrots stain this like nothing else. So if you plan on doing a lot of carrots, just know that the plastic pieces are going to get some staining. I haven't noticed that anything else really stains it. It's just the carrots. This base here gets a little bit of a ring from this cup resting on it. But what I found is it's actually a really good idea to put like a little cloth down, so either a paper towel or a reusable cloth like this that you can just wash. Because what'll happen inevitably is you'll have your cup here and you have your catch bin, and what'll happen is something will spill and splash out, and so you're gonna get your counter dirty, you're gonna get this dirty, and so having a wipe here from the beginning will catch a lot of that and make things a lot easier. Okay, so I realized I didn't have the catch jar. This is that. So so one of the funny things about this, I'll just start there, is the manual. It comes with the manual. It tells you how to set this up. It's really simple. It's really easy to clean. But the manual, the guide has like a bunch of recipes, and you can tell that there were some very poor translations. So if you want to have a bit of funny reading, read the manual. The recipes are hilarious. So with that aside, let me just show you how to connect it. So this is the main body here, and this is it looks like a drill to me, but it's what does the actual pressing, the mastication. So you just put that in there. You can't mess this up, right? Because this little bit goes into that hole. So you just push it through there. And then this is your little filter. And again, you can see the carrots have stained it quite a bit. That's not rust. I try and clean it pretty regularly with a wire brush, but it doesn't help, right? It just stays on there and gets stained. So you put that on there. This inside piece, the drill will spin, and then it will cause everything to filter out of that. So that's what's keeping the fibers out. So then you take this little top piece here and just find where it locks up. So there's like this little part here, and these little bits go in there. So it's just like any kind of screw top. Just screw it. Now the weird thing is you always want to do righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but on this one is opposite. So you got to go back, and you'll feel a little bit of a pull. So once you can't pull it off, so if I go the other way, I can pull it off, right? So that's how you know it's not the right way. So just turn it left. So it's counterintuitive to what you're used to. Then what happens, this little piece will actually go inside. So I'm going to unplug this for a second just in case. So there's a hole right here, and you just put that in there, and it tells you to put it towards the unlock part and then turn it to lock. So you can get it in there like that. And because this is a hex, it wasn't lined up. So if you twist it too much out of place, that's why you can't always just put it there. You kind of have to jiggle it a little bit, and then you turn it, it'll lock, so it clicks. Now it is stuck there, I can't turn it out. There's a button here, it says push unlock, so you just press that in, and then you can twist it and take it out. Okay, so that's locked in. What you're gonna do, so you can see down here is the nozzle where the juice is gonna come out. So put your cup under there. It tells you how many, this is in milliliters. I'm not sure what that equates to in cups or anything. Turn this out and then put this right under there. So there's a little flat part right here. It's like grooved, and that's because it's supposed to fit with the cup. So just put it right there. The fiber will come out the front here and drip into that. Finally, you have this little thing, this little lid thing. Put it on there. I think usually it goes like that, but I prefer to put it like this. You can't put it sideways like that or that because it's an oval. So it can only fit like this or like that. It can't fit like that or that. The shapes just don't match up. I like to put it like that. I'm not sure why. And then finally you have this little plunger. You can drop that in, and that's how you can just store it. It's all set up now. On the back you have power, which you just flip up. I have it unplugged again. And so that will push things through. It'll push them down here. It'll pull and push it through the system. If you get stuck for whatever reason, maybe you have like a really long carrot stick or a celery stick that maybe you cut too big and it's jammed, just put it down to reverse. And this is a button, see? So this, you have to hold it because you're not gonna do that a whole lot. That'll bring it up. I think I've only used that once. So it's not something that you use a lot, especially after you've used it a few times, you figure out what size to cut things to. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and plug this in. It's just a standard plug. So plug that in. And then I have a bowl here. So what I've done is I cut some apples and I cut some peaches. So I have 2 apples, 2 peaches, and then I have a couple of carrots. So I'm just gonna throw that into a juice. I'm gonna put these in first. So the peach I did for the flavor, the apple I did for the juice, because apples have a lot of juice and they have a pretty neutral flavor. That's why if you look at a lot of like fruit gummies and stuff like that, they have apple in it because you just put it in there, it's like filler, right? It gives you extra liquid. You could just put water, but this adds nice vitamins and stuff. And then depending on how much room I have left in the cup, I'll throw in some carrots and that'll give me some extra vitamin A and stuff. So this is nice to have here too because I just touched the peach and I want to rinse my hands. So this isn't very loud, which is nice. I've had juicers that are loud. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and do it. Actually, I need to cut my apples a little bit bigger, so I just realized that. These, this is too big. This will get caught. And you can see that's not even gonna fit in there. It's hard to see here, but you need to cut them about half. It'll be fine, half that size. So I didn't do that, let me do that now. Okay, so I've cut the apples a little smaller. And so I'll go ahead and get started. I pull this out. All right, so when you turn it on, right, it's a switch. It'll beep and then it takes a second. So let me see. Yeah, you can see that in the camera. So that is spinning. So what I usually do is I just, that's still a little bit too big. So usually what I do is I just drop something in and then I kind of push down. I don't push too hard because I don't want it to get smushed, but I'll just push it down. And I usually have one hand on the plunger at all times and I just drop stuff in. The peach is just gonna flow right through because it's so soft, but the apple is going to get stuck and need a little bit of help. So I usually throw one thing in and then give it a little push down, and I just kind of repeat that motion the whole time. And so you can see the fiber, you can see the peach skins coming out right now because that's mostly what I'm doing at the start. Here's the peach. Okay. It is important to note too, so I've used greens with this, I've used grapes, I've done apples, I've done lemon, and so when I do the lemon, I don't actually put the peels in, the rind. So for me, it's important to have what I'm gonna eat go through here. So if I'm not gonna eat the rind, if I wouldn't normally eat the rind, then I won't put the rind in. But like with grapes, I will eat the grape skin, so I'll just leave the skin on the grapes, right? So just think about what you're gonna eat. Don't put pits in here, because that's not something that you would eat. Don't put the seeds in. We'll keep these two. Okay, so we've got a pretty good amount of liquid in here. Oops, got that in there. And then I have a little bit of the peach juice, so I'm just gonna pour that in. And then at the bottom, at the end, I do like a little tap just to get whatever there is. So I have a little bit of room left. I'm just gonna do like a handful of carrots. And if you notice, I didn't just pour the whole handful in because carrots are a little bit harder. So I don't want to put too much strain on this. It can handle it. I've done like big carrot stalks before, and I just don't like it. Let me rinse my hands. I'll give you a better view. Okay, so I've rinsed my hands. So this is kind of what that looks like. It's pretty hard. But it does break apart. So now that it's done, usually I let it sit for a second and just push the last little bits through. You can see here where the carrot is, where the apple is. Sorry for the glare. You can see some of the peach there at the bottom. It's pretty juicy. So at this point, you can just take this off and let's see if there's any splatter. So see, it's kind of dripping down. That's what happens, is it will drip for a while. So if you want to drink this immediately, that's why this is good to have here, is because it's catching it. You could see a little bit of drips coming in. But anyway, so this is ready to drink. There's always some foam on the top, which is kind of, has a weird sensation. It's almost like kombucha, I guess, is how I would describe it. So it kind of has like a sour taste to it. It's kind of hard to drink. It's not like the foam on a beer, so it's really hard to explain what this is. I don't usually like drinking this. It is uncomfortable for me to drink, but the juice is fine. So if that's something that bothers you, you could take a spoon and just scrape it out. I usually just drink around it because when you go like this, you're gonna get a little bit and then of the foam, and then you're just gonna get the juice after that. So you can drink it out of this. It has a pour spout here, so you could pour it into cups depending on how many you're serving. And then with this, I mean, this is still fine, right? So depending on what you've pressed, you can sometimes use this for recipes. However, what I usually do is I have a compost tumbler, so I'll just throw that in there. If you have a worm bin, I had one for a while, and I would put this in there. And it's like, it's better than just giving the worms the whole food because it's already broken up for them. So plenty of options to use this. Otherwise, you can dump it down the drain if you have a garbage disposal, or throw it in the trash. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this. My toddler at the time, she's now 4, but when I got this, she was kind of picky and didn't want to try different things. But this was a good way to get her to try new fruits. Even though she wouldn't eat the whole fruit, she would drink the juice. And because this is so deep, like you can't really get your fingers in there, but don't put your fingers in there, right? That's why they have this stick. So it is safe. I usually let my daughter help me. I'll put stuff from the bowl onto the tray here and then let her push it in, and then I'll just push it down. So she knows not to put her fingers in or near that. But anyways, teardown is simple. It's just the opposite of putting it together. When you're cleaning, if you have something like this, you're gonna have to take like your pinky and try and push it through, or if you have like a fork or a chopstick or something, that'll work. And then if you have this scrub brush, it's a really good idea to scrub that filter piece in there, because that is hard to clean otherwise. And I do recommend cleaning this immediately. So I'm gonna go do that now. But I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching.